Hi, I wanted to go over day 21 of Thirsty by Jamie Morgan. Day 21 is thirsty to follow. Matthew 4:19 says Peter and Andrew followed Jesus at once. Matthew 4:22 says James and John followed Jesus immediately. And Matthew 4:25 says large crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. A Christian is not just a churchgoer or a person who is spiritual. It's not just someone who believes there is a God. A Christian is someone who follows Christ. In order to experience personal revival, we must ask ourselves these questions. Am I following Jesus? Are there areas of my life that I'm not following Jesus? Am I following Jesus as closely as I should? Have I become distracted in any way from following Jesus? So to follow Jesus, we must look at Jesus. We can't follow Jesus unless we keep our eyes fixed on him. If we can't look at our circumstances, our problems, people, or even ourselves, we'll have difficulty following Jesus. To continually follow him, we need to keep our eyes on him. We must walk behind Jesus. To successfully follow, we can't walk in front of Jesus or even next to him. We must walk behind. He leads and we follow. We follow him. He's not following us. When we live according to our own agenda, we walk in front of Jesus. In Matthew 16:23, Jesus told Peter to get behind him when Peter voiced his objection to Jesus' death on the cross. When we place our will above God's, we're walking in front of him. When we mix his will with our will, we're walking beside him. No, to fully submit to God's plan for our lives and to stay in step with his Spirit, we must follow closely behind and stay behind. We must love Jesus. You must love the Lord, your God, with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. Matthew 22:37 says, in this first and greatest commandment, Jesus makes it clear followers of Christ love him with everything in them, which includes the good times and bad. Jesus had taught a hard message. Unfollowing Jesus was the response of a group of his disciples. John 6:66 says, at this point, many of his disciples turned away and deserted him. The love of Christ must compel us to follow him no matter what. We must obey Jesus. Jesus said, if you love me, obey my commandments. John 14:15. Obedience to Jesus is the evidence of our love for Jesus. We obey whether we feel like it or not. As followers of Christ, we obey completely and instantly, even when everything within us wants to disobey or delay God's directives. Do you love Jesus enough to still follow him when things get difficult? What if it means sacrifice, pain, grief, question, disappointment, and even persecution? Will you still follow Jesus if he asks you for that level of obedience? He does ask you for that level of obedience.